since you talked about the cooking, I grew up above my dad's French restaurant. And my mother was no fool. We were not going to be eating upstairs. we ate in the restaurant. I was in the food industry for many years. I still love food. And so I'd love to hear more about your foray into being a chef.
3 years ago, I was taken by the passion of cooking, or the pleasure of cooking. And this pleasure turned very fast into passion, and this passion turned very fast in an obsession.
Yes.
All of a sudden, I've never cooked. Yes, I was cooking, of course, for my friends, some pastas and stuff like that, but nothing very sophisticated. I had this necessity of actually making something. All of a sudden, I realized that I was, for the first time of my life, making something. I was creating something, and it was absolutely enjoyable, so rewarding. So I started to cook and cook and cook, first for my friends, and then you know how people are in New York, they always push you to do new things, and so they love that, and they said, Lucien, you should do something with that. While I was visiting the family of my husband, I had this idea of creating a dining room, a real dining room, the dining room of our parents or even grandparents. Because I realized that probably for the last 40 years, I've never been in the dining room anymore. You know, this room only devoted to that, with the long table, the bad art on the wall, the chandelier in the middle. And I said, I have to recreate that, because that's first the memory of many, many people. And also there's many people, they don't know about that. The young people, they've never been in a dining room. They don't know what's a dining room. So I did that. I created just next door this space with a kitchen and this room with a table, with a chandelier created by one of the artists of the Invisible Dog. And I started cooking for my guests. And actually, and I call that la salle à manger, which means the dining room in French. And everybody called that Sam, became the name of la salle à manger. And la salle à manger is now really the fundraising force behind the Invisible Dogs. Instead of having this massive and boring dinner gala, you know, where there's like 500 people and everybody pay $1,000 and the food is not very good. We live.
I've been to many of those. I've worked too many of those.
you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And you just wait, and you leave before the dessert, because that's okay, it's fine, and you're happy. You didn't even talk to anybody because the table are too big or something like that. So instead of that, I have this very intimate dinner with 12 guests maximum. And where I'm cooking, I'm serving, there is storytelling behind every meal, and I make the selection of my guests, who's coming. It's only by invitation. And people are, so I always try to make table where there's new people to meet, of course, artists, supporters of the Invisible Dog, people who are traveling, who are coming here. And we had some fantastic dinner. And big surprise, the dinner are going very late at night. Usually dinners are finishing pretty early here. But no, my guests like to stay until midnight, sometimes 1, 2 a.m. So that's a good sign. And it's a pleasure for me to do that, a pleasure for them to do this experience. And again, it benefits the Invisible Dog. So it's perfect.
And when you're doing the work of fundraising for the Invisible Dog, it's not just for the space, but it's for the artists themselves who show their work in the space.
Yes, absolutely. The campaign of the Invisible Dog is made really to fund the artistic program. With that, I won't pay the bill, the electricity, I won't pay the taxes and all of that. That's only for the artists. Yes.
I do want to note that you have now a Kickstarter program, which has a very funny 2-minute video. And it just so happens that your last exhibit, which just closed, was
Yes, a dinner party. So every year for the campaign, we create a video with Mac Primo, who is one of the artists of the Invisible Dog. And every year, the video has a story. And instead of saying, "Hi, I need money, please make a donation," we try to make a fun story. And
Yes.
And of course we talk about money, and we say it in the movie we need, but in a very different way. And everything is scripted. The movie is produced, so it's very good quality. So much produced that you can see. I even won 2 Emmys last year. And so this movie are a real creation in themselves. It's already like an artistic thing. And it's true, every year, people are waiting for this movie. They are not waiting to give money to the Invisible Dog. They are waiting for the movie. And of course, if they like the movie.
And the bonus is that they might open their checkbooks.
Absolutely, yes.
Or PayPal or Venmo or whatever the case may be.
We do that on Kickstarter. Kickstarter has been a wonderful partner for us for the last 10 years. And Kickstarter and The Invisible Dog was created the same year. So we know each other really well. Yeah.
Ah.
And so I'm always very happy to go through this platform. Because they really are.
What drew you to the States? What drew you to New York?
Oh, when I came to New York 13 years ago, because I wanted to escape my life at this time. I was 43, probably in the middle-age crisis, but I didn't know I was in the middle-age crisis. It's only after I discovered. And I needed a break. I needed a break from everything. And so I said, what can I do for that? So travel has always been, for me, in my whole life, very important. I always travel. I like to go somewhere. And so I looked at the map and I said, I need to go in a place where, of course, I'm attracted to, but where I don't know anybody. Just to be alone.
Start all over.
Yes, just to start.
Clean slate.
Be with myself and think. And I look at the map, and there was 2 cities I was interested in: Berlin and New York. But Berlin was too easy. It was in Europe. New York looks complicated. You have to cross the ocean, and there is all this legend about New York and people arriving in New York and doing things. And I said, okay, that's perfect. Let's go to New York. So I took a plane ticket for 3 months, and I arrived here. And I arrived actually in Brooklyn, straight, because I found a bedroom to rent, and it was in Brooklyn. It was in Greenpoint, and it was awful. It was awful.
So you heard Polish spoken.
It was a corridor, actually. Yes, it was a corridor, actually. And when I arrived, and I said, but that's not a bedroom, that's a corridor. And people said, no, there is a bed. There is a bed. It's a bedroom. Welcome to New York. I stayed maybe, I don't know, a month on this mattress on the corridor, and then I left. I moved here, and it's during these 3 months I've discovered this building on Bergen Street, and I literally fell in love. Thought about doing something like that in my whole life. I discovered during this stay this building on Bergen Street, and the building inspired me, this project, to create an art space, a safe place for artists. And I was lucky enough to meet my landlord from Falco, who believed in the project, and who said, why not? We can try. And we tried, and it's been 13 years now.
It's really exciting.
And of course, without him would have been absolutely impossible, because he's the one who support me every day. He opened the building for me. He's taking care of the building every day, and even during the pandemic, he has been absolutely fantastic.
Wow. That's
And
lovely,
all of
because
that,
that's not always the case with the landlords.
absolutely, it's very rare. So I'm very, very, very lucky to have him. Absolutely. And then together, me with the art center and him with the rest of his properties on Bergen Street, we have revitalized Bergen Street. And you see now there is retail store, restaurants, laundry, a massage salon, like the
You have
Street is a very, very
Eileen
active.
Fisher a couple doors down or something.
We have Eileen Fisher, we have Aesop, Warby Parker, Clarvey, and since yesterday, a new partner in the pop-up store of the Invisible Dog, Kimberly House.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to check that out then, don't I?
Yes, come. It's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful things, yes.
So there is that space where you do have that ability to, even though you're doing your shows, there is that individual sort of pop-up space.
Yes, absolutely. That's the, since I was totally new when I arrived here and I didn't know anything about art funding in America. Remember, I come from France, where you ask for the government to give you money, they give you a lot of money. So your main concern is to spend the money.
Yes.
Here, I discovered that my main concern is to earn the money, raise the money every day before spending it. So it was very, very different. So I've created this business model at the Invisible Dog, really based on the real estate, based on the building, how this building can generate incomes, and these incomes will help me to pay the rent, the electricity, the internet, everything we need. And with the profit of that, I can fund artists and commission artists to make art and art show and performances and theater and music. And it worked. It worked really well.